So I want to start off this video by saying that you are not special. Yes, you. Person watching this video right now, you are not special, and neither am I. Nobody's special. Nobody at all is special. You are basic just like everyone else. You are subject to your emotions just like everybody else. You have fear just like everybody else. You have envy just like everybody else. You need to start thinking about life this way. If you are just as basic as everybody else, right? And if everybody is the same, if everyone is just as basic, that means that special people are also basic as well. Everybody that you see on TV, people that are doing extravagant things all the time, these special people are also basic. What does that mean? If these people are basic, you as well can be special. Do not let it go over your head. If everybody's the same, if everybody's subject to their emotions, if everybody feels the exact same thing, not the exact same thing, but we have standard emotions and people feel variance across, different spectrums. So you may not actually feel fear the same way somebody else is feeling fear, but you're still feeling fear at the end of the day. So if everybody's basic, that means everybody's special. That means you can be special. Think I'm lying? Let's take two people and put them in the same activity. I guarantee you it'll look similar as hell. Pretty much similar, identical twins, like they came out the womb together. But guess what? The only thing that'll actually be different between both people, say it with me, the results, the outcome. That's the only thing that changes. Another example, if you were to go to a fast food restaurant and you saw everybody in the same clothing, managers and employees, regular employees. Now, if they're all in the same clothing, all serving you food, I guarantee you wouldn't even know who's the manager and who's not. The only reason you'd know is based on how somebody comes off. The results, the outcome of how they come off. That is the only way you will actually know that, hey, this person may not be a regular employee. They may very well be a manager, and I must adhere to that. Which just goes to show in this generation, and I don't even know why I say this generation like I don't speak of myself when I say this, but I am also victim to this kind of thinking too. I've noticed that a lot of people, they're calling out into the universe. They're asking God for certain things that they're necessarily mentally, physically not even ready for. That is something that I even struggle with. Sometimes I call onto things, or I say I want certain things, like, guys will say that they want certain kind of girls, but then when they get these certain kind of girls, they want to turn them into something that they're necessarily not. Girls necessarily want a guy who's established, right? They want someone who at least knows what they're doing to some extent, but don't realize that before the guy was ever experienced, he was unexperienced. He was a loser before he was a winner. I think that's that's a idea that most people just don't understand, and that's just a sickness of the world. I've just come to accept it. Like I said, I am a victim of this. I do be going for the baddies. I do love the baddies. I gotta learn. We're all learning, right? We're all trying to be better people at the end of the day. But it's not to even say that, it's a wrong thing to even go for those type of girls or go for established guys. You just have to understand what comes with that. It's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. You just have to understand that, hey, I'm dealing with this kind of person, so we can't do certain things, or certain things just will not roll in this certain vicinity with this kind of person. I'm not even here to even give you life advice. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I don't care what you do. Don't even listen to me. What do I know? What I'm telling you is that there are results in life, and there are certain actions that'll get you certain results. And there are hard rules that people just can't seem to follow and want to break them. People want to break hard rules that have just been set in place, right? Like changing someone's habitat. Stop trying to change someone's habitat. Just go be in your own habitat and find you a bear. Go in your own habitat and find you your own bear. Find you a grizzly bear. Don't go for the South Pole looking for a polar bear thinking that you're gonna change into a grizzly bear. It's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. I don't care how much you think that you are some kind of speaker, or you're a philosopher, someone that can convince people to do anything that you want. You're not. Let me not even speak on that, because some people are that good. Some people are that good. But at the end of the day, if somebody has their mind set on something, you're not gonna change it. If they tell you that this is not what they want to do at all, you're not gonna change it. If they're set on that, if they're not somebody that can be moved, you're not changing that. Also, people who, get rich and famous very quickly, they quickly get there and realize this is not something that they actually want, because they're not ready for it mentally or physically. They regret every decision that they probably made. Not maybe every decision. They probably don't regret the money. They don't regret the fame, but they regret everything that it comes with. Because at the end of the day, you can't ask for something and not be prepared. Because if you are not prepared, understand this. It will break you, snip you, snap, like a Kit Kat, break in half. See, when I say things like people ask for things they're not specifically ready for, I came to this realization recently that people actually feel what I feel. But think about it. People feel shame. People feel envy. They feel happiness, anger, all the same. But it always occurred to me, I'm like, why don't I ever notice it when I'm out? I see anger. Anger is easily noticeable. I see happiness. Happiness is easily noticeable. But you can never see envy. You can never see jealousy. You can never see shame. And that's because those emotions aren't necessarily vibrant. And when I'm even in public and I exhibit these emotions, people cannot tell. I used to think that, when I feel embarrassed in a situation, when I feel shame, that, everyone can tell. They can tell when I necessarily don't want to be in a specific place or when I feel some kind of embarrassment. They can't. They can't tell at all. Not unless the situation allows it for. Unless something actually happens that I do something embarrassed, then they're probably like, oh, this person's embarrassed. For example, if I'm in the midst of, let's say 20 girls and I fart, that'll be pretty embarrassing. They will all probably look at me and move away. Straight up, that's just how it goes. Now, in that moment, those 20 girls will probably be able to tell that I was embarrassed. Even if I'm able to play it off, they'll be able to tell because of the circumstance, because of the action, right? Nobody can fart in the midst of 20 girls and not be embarrassed. If you can do it. But the key lesson is not to fart in the midst of 20 girls. And this just goes to show that, people don't see your shame. They don't see your envy. So they don't feel what you feel. They don't understand what you understand. That's why if I want an opinion on something, if I want an opinion on a story, I usually won't bother explaining it to somebody that wasn't there. Because if they're not there to even notice and have their own perspective on it, my bias itself telling the story will automatically influence it to make it seem like I'm the good person if that's what I want to portray myself as. And I know this. That's why if I genuinely want an answer to something, a lot of the times it's in you. It's already in it's in your body. So you just have to dig deep and figure it out. And it's not to say that, don't share your problems or don't talk about anything with anyone. Just keep that in mind when you're telling a story or when you're trying to get an opinion about something, that you also have that bias. And it's okay, because everybody has that bias, because whoever else was involved in that situation, if they went to go tell their story on the other side, they'd also be biased. That's just human nature. That's just human nature. You can't deny it. So people don't exactly feel what you feel. They don't understand how you understand. So keep this in mind, that when you're giving out to people, when you are being generous, if you make yourself available, they will take advantage regardless. Why? Because this is the nature of people. Even I do it sometimes. I'll see situations where I don't want to necessarily take on a specific role or task, and I see someone who's perfectly fit to do the exact same task. Now me, at the end of the day, I'm a G. I'm gonna do everything myself. But I'm also a victim to that kind of thinking. And as human beings, we all are. So give people your time, show them that you're available, and they will take advantage regardless. The same way people don't know how you feel, it's the same way people won't also voice 100% of what they feel in that exact moment. No way in hell I'm gonna sit you down and talk about my emotions. It's never gonna happen. And in saying that, I know a lot of people won't also as well. A lot of people will keep their emotions bottled up. That's why non-verbal communication is key, very important. I think it's the actually only communication you need to pay attention to when it comes to communicating with somebody. Their non-verbal languages is actually very important. And that's the key to manipulation. Because if you want to be manipulated, listen to somebody's words. The only thing people can't lie about is their action. They can think whatever they want in their head. They can say, they can tell you whatever it is that they want to tell you. But at the end of the day, their body just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Their body is not going to do something they don't want to do. Your body is not moving without the mind being on board. Because a lot of the times, what's actually in the mind is actually what's portrayed in the body. So whatever you're thinking, subconsciously or consciously, will come out physically, whether you like it or not. That's why you kind of have to change your mindset and change the way you think about yourself. Because if you think about yourself in a degrading way, or if you think about yourself in a down way, then it'll portray physically. It'll show physically. And you can say, oh, that's spiritual and stuff. No, it's literally facts. Because if I think I want to pick up this cup and take a sip, that's what my body did. Now, if I say I want to do it again because god dang, the juice, holy shit. My goodness. Anyways, that's what my body's gonna do regardless, because that's what's in my mind. Now, if I say I don't want to pick up this cup and drink this juice, guess what? Let's wait 5 seconds. I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all. Because the mind and the body are constantly working all the time. In a way, you kind of have to watch how you speak to yourself. Watch what you think. Why is it that people experience different outcomes? Now, don't ask me. I'm not the pro. If I had to give you my opinion, I think it comes down to these 3 things, or at least variants of these 3 things: physical, mental, and spiritual. Now, when I say physical, that's logic. That's actual physical work. That's the technique that you're using to do something. So if you're playing soccer, the technique you're using to hit the ball. If you're playing basketball, the technique you're using to score the ball. If you're playing football, the technique you're using to catch the ball or throw the ball. Either one, that's the physical. The spiritual is connected to your belief, right? This is what you believe in. If you believe in God, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, whatever it is you believe in, not even necessarily religion itself, but just your belief system in this world, how you think your life is supposed to go. For example, if you have two people and one person thinks that, they can actually make it in this life versus another person who actually think they can't, those are two different belief systems. And believe it or not, that will actually affect the outcome. Now, when we go to mental, it pertains to the aspect of emotions, right? It pertains to how you feel. And believe it or not, how you feel can either propel or slow you down from your desired goal. Now, I want to say this because emotion is very, complicated. If you take something like anger can be propelled into either something good or bad. It can either make you so angry that you want to then complete the task. Thing about anger, it fades. Now, I personally don't think that anger is a good motivational system or a good motivational tactic. And I say this because I've tried to use anger before and it didn't work at all. Honestly, if you try to use any emotion as some kind of motivational tactic, it won't work. Because at the end of the day, emotions fade. Anger fades. Happiness fades. Sadness fades. Shame fades. Eventually, it all goes away because it's a feeling. You understand? It's a feeling at the end of the day. For example, in my own life, I'll use, anger to propel myself to do certain things, to complete certain tasks. Now, it works, trust me. The problem with that is when I go around people that I enjoy being around, I start to feel a different sense of emotion. It's no longer anger. It's maybe happiness, it's maybe love, and that's cool. But also the thing that I notice is that when I come back into my own setting, my own space, I'm not able to call upon that anger that I was before. Almost like I'm not able to do anything because I don't feel that hatred anymore. But I learned that was completely wrong because you can't use anger as a motivation. Now, you can use anger to propel you, for sure. Anger will get you somewhere, just like happiness will. Because at the end of the day, we can really make that argument that feelings really aren't real. Feelings are only something that you feel in a specific environment. If you're around your friends, family, you'll feel happiness, you'll feel love. Maybe you may still be depressed or sad inside, but you still feel happiness and love. If you're at work or something, maybe you feel nothing but anger, sadness, depression. So it's almost like feelings is perceived, almost not real. Not to say that they're not real, but they're not real, if you understand what I'm saying. They're only perceived. That's what I think personally when it comes down to outcomes, results. I think these three things really affect it that much when it comes to getting the desired outcome. So the key point, you must think of yourself the same, because if you think of yourself the same, that means you are capable of completing the same basic things people are able to do. Now, by definition, if you are basic just like everybody else, and basic people are doing special things, that means your basic ass can do special things, which means by definition, you are special. Straight up, you're special as hell. So stop being complacent. Stop remaining where you are. Grow, learn every day. We're all gonna do it together. We're all gonna do it together, right? We're all gonna do it together. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you come back. And I'll see you next time.